unconscious bias has a significant impact on our attitudes and behaviours. While increasingly familiar as a concept, what is less familiar is how it shows up in our relationships, decision-making, and how we lead others. Unconscious bias is often expressed and experienced through microaggressions. In this video, we will clarify what we mean by microaggressions, explore in more detail different types of microaggressions, how they show up and their impact. So what is unconscious bias? Here are a couple of definitions. Quick judgments your brain makes without you even knowing it, plus social stereotypes about certain groups of people that individuals form outside their conscious awareness. These definitions give us clues as to why it's a challenging concept to understand, as it is, by its very nature, unconscious. That's why looking at how it manifests through behaviours is much more useful. The term microaggressions was first coined in the 1970s by the Harvard psychologist Chester Pierce as he observed behaviours between white and black students. The term is now applied beyond race to all marginalised groups. Microaggressions are defined as everyday subtle put-downs directed towards a marginalised group, which may be verbal or non-verbal and are typically automatic. They are likely to demean someone's race, gender, sexual orientation, heritage, age, or disability, and are linked to the speaker's assumptions about the individual and their belonging to a specific group. Often the person communicating the message doesn't even realise that what they're saying or doing is a microaggression. They may think they are giving someone a compliment or saying something which provides a connection between themselves and the other person, or just using humour. So, what are some examples of microaggressions? A verbal microaggression could be a comment or a question that is either hurtful or stigmatising to a group or person. For example, saying, "You speak English well," for someone from Greece. A behavioural microaggression is where someone behaves in a way that is discriminatory or hurtful. For example, a waiter only responding to a request made by a man at a dinner table rather than a woman. An environmental microaggression is where there is a subtle discrimination within society. For example, if a child is watching a television show and only sees actors of a different race to them on the screen, or in certain cities where statues, street names and major buildings are named after men who made their fortune via the slave trade. Even within the term microaggressions, there are different types of aggression. Let's start with microassaults. These are intentional behaviours where someone behaves in a discriminatory way, but the individual either dresses it up as, "I was only joking," or demonstrates behaviours which are based on the other person's profile, such as moving their bag away from someone of a particular race. Micro-insults are rude or insensitive comments which subtly disrespect a person's identity or undermines their experiences. For example, assuming that someone isn't intelligent because of their appearance, or that someone doesn't understand something because English is their second language. Finally, micro-invalidations are where someone's experience of being hurt or feeling anger at discriminatory behaviour is dismissed or downplayed. For example, where someone's opinion is dismissed because they are too young and therefore don't understand. Microaggressions come from the same place as unconscious bias. Our brain is taking shortcuts and drawing conclusions based on familiar thought patterns. This is what makes it difficult to challenge others and for us to be aware of the impact of the behaviours we are demonstrating. As a general rule, people don't intend to insult, undermine, or disrespect others, but rather want to make positive connections and build good relationships. In summary, unconscious bias is usually demonstrated verbally and behaviourally through microaggressions. These behaviours are generated through our brain taking shortcuts when choosing how we respond to others. Raising our awareness of our own biases and increasing our knowledge of the impact of microaggressions on others is the first step towards stopping these behaviours.